Not long ago, within the last couple of weeks, in fact, there was a pilot who flew. There was another one. We just saw another one. We just saw another one apparently go. Another plane just flew into the second tower. This has to be deliberate, folks.
Well, that would begin to say that, yeah.
We just saw on live television as a second plane flew into the second tower of the World Trade Center. Now, given what has been going on around the world, some of the key suspects come to mind: Osama bin Laden, who knows what. But in fact, we saw this live perhaps 2 minutes ago. Look at that. A jet plane, clearly a jet plane, a good-sized airplane, slamming into the second tower of the World Trade Center. This after a report of another plane slamming into the North Tower, both towers now in flames. We have reports of at least 6 people killed, 1,000 injured, and clearly those numbers are going to go up.
I think the question is, where does that airliner come from? They're expensive. Was it hijacked? Do we know where it came from? Were there any markings? Were they are these intentional pilots who are kamikaze pilots executing this kamikaze attack into the World Trade Center? Were they stolen? Are they small Airbuses? Those are flown by U.S. Air. The 737-800s are flown by the Delta shuttle that goes from LaGuardia to New York. You've got the one that I saw going down Fifth Avenue before it made a turn, looked very white. Now, that could theoretically indicate it would be a Delta shuttle. I'm not saying it is, folks. I don't want to alarm people. Also, Air Canada flies those twin-engine smaller Airbuses down from Montreal and down from Toronto. So I think one of the first things investigators have got to start to do right now is find out where these planes are from, who is flying them, are there any more coming, and what can they do to intercept any others if there are. I imagine that there has got to be a ground hold right now at all the airports in the New York area, as well as a freeze in the air traffic center of all the aircraft around the New York metropolitan area. And if there are any other airplanes coming, perhaps the Air National Guard or others will have to start dealing with this, and in the air, maybe they've already scrambled at the moment as we speak. So I think clearly, judging by the pictures that we've seen, sadly, horribly, what we've long feared and many have worried about and thought could never happen would be a terrorist attack, a deliberate terrorist attack on the World Trade Center, as we are witnessing right now. Not obviously the accident that happened with the Empire State Building back in the 1940s, 1945, a B-24. 25 hit the Empire State Building by accident when he descended through clouds trying to go to Newark.
This is clearly deliberate.
That chilling, horrible scene that we just saw, I think, is attack not just in the World Trade Center, but at the very soul and the very heart of our nation, John.
To answer that question that is being raised, how could 2 aircraft get in there so close? Well, if 2 pilots want to take their planes anywhere, you know, it's a free country. And we don't have anti-aircraft guns on our skyscrapers. I mean, it takes a matter of seconds, literally, for a jetliner to get from Newark Airport to the World Trade Center. A jetliner at full speed could cover that distance in a minute or 2. So a couple of pilots bent on destruction, and clearly these could do something like this. Now, again, folks, we have to remind you, 50,000 people work in these buildings each and every day. It happened right at 9 a.m. A good number of those folks were already at their desks. The death toll is certainly going to be tremendous in this tragedy here, and that's all that we can say about it. It is a tragedy. It is abhorrent. It is disgusting. But
John, you have to, I'm wondering, are these pilots terrorists themselves? Are there terrorists in the cockpit who are holding guns to a pilot's head? Did they
I can't imagine.
You can speculate completely about how this happens, because obviously it takes a lot of training and expertise to fly a complicated, sophisticated aircraft, whether it's a Boeing 737 or a smaller Airbus. These are not little Cessnas and little Pipers. So you have to wonder and raise what possibility there is with the type of scenario that was going on in the cockpit.
All right,
they are whether it's the pilots or if they're hijackers intentionally doing this.
A lot of questions still to be answered. Let's listen again to Kai Simonson from the Fox 5 chopper.
Looks like 6, 7 floors were taken out. And there's more explosions right now. Hold on, people are running.
Winston, hold on just a moment. We've got an explosion inside.
The building's exploding right now. You got people running up the street.
Okay.
I'll tell you what's going on.
Okay, just put Winston on pause there for just a moment.
Okay, the whole building just exploded some more. The whole top part.
Okay.
The building's still intact. People are running up the streets. Am I still connected?
Winston, this would support probably what Libby and you both said, that perhaps the fuselage was in the building that would cause a second explosion such as that.
Well, that's what just happened then.
That certainly.
Yeah, people are running up.
We're getting word that perhaps.
Okay, hold on. The people here are, everybody's panicking.
All right, Winston, Winston, let me put Winston on hold for just a moment.
Okay, I don't know how much longer we're staying. I'm inside of a diner right now.
Well, Winston, you know what? If you could give us a call back, I just don't want to panic here on the air. Let's just take some of our pictures from News Chopper 7. Now, one of our producers said perhaps a second plane was involved, and let's not even speculate to that point, but at least put it out there that perhaps that may have happened. The second explosion would certainly back the theory from a couple of eyewitnesses that the plane fuselage perhaps stayed in those upper buildings. Now, if you look at the second building, there are two, that both Twin Towers now are on fire. Now, this was not the case, am I correct? A couple of moments ago. This is the second Twin Tower now on fire, and we're going to check on the second flight if perhaps that had happened. This all began at about 8:48 this morning. Again, what we know, in case you're just joining us, a small plane, not a Cessna type or 5 or 6 seater, but instead perhaps a passenger flight, ran into the north side of the World Trade Center. As you can see, the second explosion that you're looking at now in the second Twin Tower, it has spread much debris, much more debris than the first explosion or the first accident. Is Winston still on the line with us? Okay, he's not there, but do we have, I'll just talk to my producer, do we have an eyewitness that perhaps sees better than we do from just moments ago of the second plane hitting the World Trade Center? That is spectacular pictures. I don't know if you could see the plane, and that too was a passenger plane, if perhaps some type of navigating system or some type of electronics would have put two planes into the World Trade Center within, it looks like, about 18 minutes of each other. You want to go to? We have another copy. There's the second plane, another passenger plane hitting the World Trade Center. These pictures are frightening indeed. These are just minutes between each other. So naturally, you will guess and you will speculate and perhaps ask the question, if some type of navigating equipment is awry, that two commuter planes would run into the World Trade Centers at the same time. Our director, you're speaking in my ear at this point. You are looking at live pictures right now of the...
Again, your estimation, what type of plane did
either an Airbus A320 style or a Boeing 737.
Okay.
Where do you get your knowledge from? How much time do you have in a pilot?
Oh, it was another...
Oh no, okay.
Explosion.
Explosions, multiple explosions, ladies and gentlemen. We just saw another explosion. Obviously...
We're just watching it again. It's the first time. This is
the other tower, ladies and gentlemen. Another explosion at tower number 2 of the World Trade Center just happened live on our air.
The first that we had heard, the impact only affecting Tower 1, but as our producers and reporting staff in the field is telling us, and you can see now to the left of your screen, there is fire in the second
lower the
tower.
Camera just a little bit. You can see right at the bottom of the TV screen, billowing smoke from a bomb or explosion. We do not know if it's a bomb. I'm speaking out of turn here. A second explosion that just happened. The first, we understand, was from an airplane. The second, we have no idea.
No idea at all at this point what has triggered it. If we could take maybe a wider shot to give us just a different vantage point, just to try to gain a little bit of perspective. And there you can see the situation.
Unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. We're in shock as much as you are.
It can't be put into words, and clearly you are looking at it as we are seeing it, as it's developing. We have no confirmation